And welcome back. Just like that, we're back and we're moving now into our second segment for the morning.
Yeah, we started the running in here already. Thank you, Steven.
That's the way it is. That's how we do it. But nonetheless, this one is all about women in sports. It's called Women in Stride, of course. It's an event to promote women in sport and celebrate Women's Month. For me, I hold it dear. I hold it dear simply because we must respect and we must highlight our women because they are our strength. In with us this morning to talk about it, we've got Alan Sharp, General Secretary for the Belize National Olympic and Commonwealth Games Association, and Jane Usher, one of my favorite athlete, representative women in Sport Commission. Good morning and welcome to both of you.
Good morning and thank you very much for having us.
Yeah.
It's always nice to have you guys in. Now let's jump on into it. Women in Stride. What are we talking about there?
Women in Stride, we're talking about a event to encourage participation in physical activity. So it does not matter your level, it does not matter your competitive level. We just want people, Belizeans on a whole, women especially, to come out and get moving. So it's an event to launch the Women's Commission. It's in conjunction with Women's Month, the Women's Commission in Sport, I should say. And it's going to be on Saturday. So what we did was we wanted to get as many people involved as possible, or what we're doing. So we're not just doing a run or a bike ride. We're trying to do as many activities to get as many people involved as possible. So we're going to have, starting at 6 a.m. on Saturday, the 26th of March, we're going to have 3 events going simultaneously. You can either choose to do a run, a walk, or a bike ride. Thereafter, you will return to the venue, which is the BTL Park, and you will be able to either sign up for, continue your morning with a yoga class or a body fit class. And a body fit class is just using your own body weight to do exercise. So that's going to be run by Miss Karen Rosito, and the yoga class will be run by Miss Michelle Williams from Shanti.
Jane, women in sport. You've been in sport for a long time. Not mean old. I know to say old. But let's talk about the recognition that women get in sport in Belize. Are we seeing this? Are we seeing it at the number we'd like to? And how do we expect to try to bring that up? What are your thoughts?
Definitely, I think that we're seeing it more than we used to previously. However, we're definitely not seeing it at the level that we would want to. We want to get people rallying behind our female teams more. We want to get people excited about seeing women participating more, and we want to get more women participating. That is what we need. We need more girls, we need more females to come out and get active and get competing in our sports, because we can't expect to have the same level as men, because there are just so many more men in sport, until our girls get out there and start playing.
I'm glad you said that, because that's one of the things in my mind. It's kind of like catch-22. It's the women who are involved in sports who don't get that much support, and seeing less women in sports, it doesn't generate as much energy for others to want to get involved. So this Women in Sports Commission, or Commission in Sports, what's the plan beyond this launch?
Okay, so the plan beyond the launch is exactly that. We want to try to do seminars and to do other activities just to get women to gain that self-empowerment and self-confidence, to know that sport goes beyond actually playing. In order to see women involved, you need to have like a role model in different capacities. So there's coaches, there's referees and umpires, there's administrative level, and we need more women represented at all these levels of sport, not just on the playing field. And so women need to know that perhaps if you have a female coach, you would be more comfortable coming out to playing more as a girl. So we need to build the entire spectrum of females represented in sport, not just on the playing field, but definitely we need it on the playing field as well. So there are going to be seminars to encourage all these levels of sport. There are going to be more encouragement of more activities, and while we're not excluding boys, it's not about excluding males.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like a he for she movement as well. We want
course.
everybody to come out and participate together, and everybody to know that while we're pushing women, we're bringing everybody along.
Yeah.
Frank, we've seen, and you've been on here with us countless times, and this is actually as coach for the female volleyball team. We've seen our females out there and truly represent, because for some reason or the other, this is at heart for them. Let's talk about where we are with female sports in our country.
Well, I think like Jane said that we are growing. Female volleyball is doing well. Female football is growing very rapidly throughout
Yeah.
the country. Softball has always been strong in female. And I think other sports are now starting to look at it. There are other sports that will need to, actually by the International Olympic Committee Charter, will be strongly encouraged to include female sports. So you have some popular sports like basketball, more females in cycling, in athletics. These are areas that need to grow. I know the federations are trying, but as Jane mentioned, a big part of the Women in Sport Commission is teaching leadership and then to encourage the young ones to be a part of it as well. So it's coming from two sides, where, for example, right now at the national federation level, Belize Olympic Committee has 18 national federations affiliated with it, and if I'm not mistaken, only 2 have female presidents, tennis and sailing. So we need to see more of that happen. We need to have more female leadership, just like in the House of Representatives, let's say.
Yeah.
That makes a big difference when you see your major leaders being women.
How many of those 18 federations have dedicated female teams?
I don't have that off the top of my head, but I can say that it needs to grow.
Yeah.
Because
Would we say half? Less than half?
I would say just about half. Just about half. Because you have some sports that are predominantly male by nature, rugby, but yet
Women can play rugby.
women have
Women
played
can
rugby.
play, have
Actually,
played, yeah.
Belizean women, including her sister, played rugby when she was away. So you have to get to that point, and I think to Jane's point, that right now, even at the very base level, let's say at primary school level, you're not seeing the level of participation of females compared to males.
Yeah.
And that's a cultural thing as well, that we have to also address. And I mean from both sides. One is obviously the parents need to feel more comfortable with who's there. So the Women in Sport Commission, actually one of their things they work with a lot is called safety in sports. They work a lot with creating policies so that there's safety for girls, safety for boys as well, for kids, so that you make sure that you ensure you have policies to make the parents feel comfortable in having their kids being trained by a particular person. So that does play a big role.
It's an extension of gender stereotypes, you know, the amount of risk you'll allow the boy to take in sports versus girls.
Right.
So it's countering it from that end as well.
Yes.
But, you know, I think perhaps it goes back to talking about some of the benefits. And Jane, you've been involved in sports, in so many different sports, you and your family, for such a long time. You were paddling in La Ruta, you were cycling in races, you know. So let's talk about why having girls involved in sports from even a young age can benefit them in the adult life.
Well, I mean, sport just gives you so many life skills. It does. It teaches you teamwork. It builds your confidence. It builds your ability to interact with just anybody. You know, you have a topic of conversation as soon as you meet someone. Sport has so many physical, but not only physical, mental benefits as well. It's a way to beat stress, and it's a way to take some time and do something for yourself that's keeping you healthy, but also could make you happy. You need to find something that you enjoy. We don't want people to be like, oh, I have to get up and go to the gym. You know, I mean, it should be something that is your
Isn't that
time.
everyone though?
No, that's well, no. Actually, some people do get excited about their time to go and work
Go to
out
the
or to
gym.
go
Yeah.
and exercise. You know, and we don't have Belize is getting there, but in other countries there are so many little communities. You know, this is my time. I'm going to go and take half an hour for myself,
Yeah.
and it helps you to clear your mind, to take away from the stress of the normal day, and you then get back re-energized.
Yeah.
Because it stimulates your body, but it could also clear your mind. And sport has so many benefits for the body and the mind that I think it is important, you know, like Marlene was saying, you know, there are so many gender stereotypes, and then women just get caught up in their day-to-day lives. You know, they're shuffling the children around, they're going to a lot more women are working these days, that you never take that time for yourself.
Yeah.
And, you know, and if you would do that, you would find that maybe your day would be a little bit more productive or calming, you know.
So this is a complementary effort, I guess. This is getting girls and women interested
Yes.
in becoming athletes.
And let me just add there though, this is also, as Jane mentioned, it's also for men who support women.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very important, I think, that the men who support women come because they play a big part.
Yeah.
Jane just now mentioned the women are shuffling the kids. Well, the women don't have to always shuffle the kids. The man has to be the person to support
Yes.
when it's her time to go practice or play tennis or whatever it is.
That's right.
He has his part. And when it's his time, you roll with, you know.
Yeah.
Reverse.
Yeah.
So this is very key.
And I'm glad you said that because that's what I was going to ask about the supportive structure, because we've had female athletes on the show so many times in so many different types of sports. And there's also a lack of support from the business community or
Yeah.
from the federations themselves. So while we work hard to get interest, how do we build up the other side of this?
Well, I think it's through some of the seminars, and this is a launch of the Women in Sports Commission.
Yeah.
So the International Olympic Committee and the Olympic Solidarity, along with the Belize Olympic Committee, is going to be pushing this because it's something now that's become, everybody's more aware,
Yeah.
and I think it's something that we must move forward.
Yeah.
And Belize wants to be one of the leaders. We don't want to be one of the followers. In the whole Caribbean, I'd say about half the countries or so are just starting their women's commission. Some have it well established, like
Yeah.
Trinidad and
Barbados.
Barbados, but some are just starting, and we want to be one of the people that are in that leadership.
Indeed.
But having the programs to lead is very important. And if I may go back to what Jane was saying just now, this is important. I think that sport or any activity that young girls get into reduces their chance of getting into negative extracurricular things.
Activities,
Making
yeah.
better decisions.
Yeah.
It apparently, the statistics show that you're 80% less chance of having an early pregnancy,
Yeah.
just because you have a different focus, just because you're entertained by other things. Belize's top health issues, hypertension, heart disease,
Diabetes.
you know,
Diabetes.
diabetes,
Obesity,
all
yes.
sport reduces all of that, but you have to start early to develop an active
Habits.
lifestyle so that you not necessarily have to be at the gym. You might want to walk, you might want to ride, you might
Yeah.
want to play volleyball,
Yeah.
but it's an active lifestyle for the rest of your life.
But then it comes to it comes down to this grassroots thing, and this is where we always need to start, because if you teach them from now, chances are that's what they'll abide by. Which leads me to ask the question again: when it comes to the Women in Sports Commission, what are we going to do for grassroots, for the younger ones?
Well, the Women in Sport Commission, what we need to understand, it's basically like a support. It's starting the conversation. It's advising the federations on how to build their programs. You know, and you're definitely right. We need to start at younger levels. And I think right now that's what we need to do in Belize. We need to create a collaborative system where everybody is not operating on their own. We need to come together so that everybody's trying to do the same programs in their respective fields, so that we know that what we are trying to do is build sport, build physical activity at all levels throughout the life spectrum. So starting at the very bottom, the child, we need to see little leagues in Belize. We need to see, you know, T-ball, We need to have these kids have something to do at like 5, 6 years old.
Yeah.
And then they go into school. We have a good school. But right now, I think that's where the main focus of the National Sports Council is in the school system, so primary school, high school. But what happens when you come out of high school?
Yeah.
You know, where
Right.
do we go?
A lot
Where
of
do
great
we
athletes
find
just stop.
Yeah.
where do we find our communities of sport after? And that is what we need to build. And we need to do that collaboratively with the Olympic Committee, with the National Sports Council, with the federations, all working together hand in hand to build this. And what our role is to have all these organizations also doing it for women at the same time as men, because it's just so much easier to do it for men all the time.
Well, yeah, and I think with a commission in place, at least there's an entity that can raise the question and say, okay, but what about the girls? Or what
Exactly.
about
Yeah.
the women?
Yeah.
So the official launch of this commission is on Saturday.
Yes.
All right, and you have something for those who are very athletic, if they want to jump on a bike. Is it a race or is it just a ride?
It's just a ride because we want as many people involved as possible. So what
Okay.
we have decided to do is not make any of them races, not even the running, not the walk, not the bike ride. And instead of giving first, second, third, we will be putting everybody who participates in a raffle.
Oh.
And so they will have an opportunity to win some prizes out there. And we have
Sweet.
sport-related prizes. So we
Okay.
have some jump ropes, we have some exercise bands, some water bottles.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we even have one of the bigger prizes, which is like headphones that you can connect to your phone
Yeah.
for when you're working out. So it's just to encourage people
Come on
in
out.
physical activity and
Yeah.
to come on out. Exactly. I mean,
And bring the kids.
and bring the kids. It's for all levels. We do have that as well. Thank you for reminding me. We're giving one prize for our youngest participant and one prize for our most senior participant,
Aw.
just because we're trying to promote it across the board.
All right.
So-
And so this is women and men. It's
for everybody,
Just
yeah.
for everybody. Come on out, support. And it's this Saturday.
This
where,
Saturday.
Where
Belize
again?
City.
BTL Park. So
All right.
we'll be at the Digi Park on Newtown Barracks.
Registration on site between 6 and 6:30 a.m.
Well,
Sounds like
you
it.
need to get your name in the raffle. So you need to sign up.
All right, this is great. This is great. Jean, thank you. Mr. Sham, thank you
you.
so very
Thank you
much for
for
joining
having
us. This is a great opportunity to actually highlight our women, especially in this month. Let's go on out and do it together. All right, thank you guys for joining us
Thank
this
you.
morning.
Thank you
for
too.
having
Don't
us.
be shy. Come on out.
All right, when we come back, we're about to take a break. When we come back, though, we'll be joined by folks from Creme de la Creme. We take over for their part, then they go take over for we studio. But who does it better? That's when we come back.